Hello there, Wotb takers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the FV215B and as well comparing it to the Super Conqueror. So, of course, both of these are Tier 10 British heavy tanks. The FV215B being the tech tree variant, which you can grind right up today for free, or you can spend a little bit of your dough in their pockets, empty out your wallet, and get your hands on the Super Conqueror. Now, I actually love the way this tank plays. When I first got it, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan, but I definitely have grown on it over the months, and I really am enjoying to play this vehicle. But I will say, the FV215B, when you try using this gun and compare it to the Super Conqueror, oh my god, the 215B gun is just amazing. So of course I'm going to be comparing both of these tanks in today's video, the good things and of course the bad things about both of them, and which one I do think is not only a better tier 10 tank, but also at the same time which one is more enjoyable to play. So I'm actually not the biggest fan of the 215B, but I do appreciate the gun and the way it is played. The gun on this tank has 2.6 seconds aiming time, which is truly fantastic. Not only does the gun have great aiming time, the dispersion is only 0.299. This is one of the most accurate and arguably one of the best guns at tier 10, especially mounted on a heavy chassis. It's got great damage per minute at over 3,000, and I'm even running calibrated on this tank because it also gets HESH. It's a British tier 10 heavy tank with HESH, 132 millimeters of high explosive pen, dealing 515 average damage. The standard pen as well is truly amazing, 272 standard, and even the premium at 342, while it isn't necessarily as high as an IS-4, this of course is using APCR as its premium, which not only means that you can get through spaced armor where an IS-4 couldn't, also you have shell normalization, which actually makes it about 360 millimeters of premium pen. So the penetration on this tank is fantastic. The gun is fantastic in every single way, and even it has 7 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty dang shabby. Now it's nowhere near as good as the Super Conqueror's 10 degrees, but 7 is still nothing to complain about. Now the mobility, this tank is not necessarily the fastest. It only goes 34 forwards and 12 in reverse, but it does have a great power to weight ratio of 15.9, so you can see the average speed is just a little bit slower than the top speed of this vehicle. It's got 1100 engine power, so overall the weight and the power to weight ratio on this tank really doesn't slow it down. It's very maneuverable on the traverse speed, but of course one of the biggest issues I have with this tank, which is the armor profile. It's one of the biggest weak spots on this tank. Well, actually it is a weak spot, judging that it's the armor, but yeah, it's not necessarily bad all around. In fact, the turret on this tank is very similar to the Super Conqueror. In fact, I'd rate it better. It doesn't really have that spaced armor around it, but I think it's actually thicker overall, which is pretty dang impressive. I can't tell you how many shots that go through the Super Conqueror spaced armor as if it doesn't even exist. Like literal missiles will go right through the spaced armor. So I don't know what's up with the Super Conqueror and that spaced armor, but for the 215B, the turret works quite well. So you want to use your gun depression, hide that lower plate, and you can bounce the occasional shot in the upper plate, but the biggest weakness, the one thing that really kills me, is the side armor. It's the whole side, because first of all, at the front you have the track wheel. If any competent player is going up against a 215B, as long as, like, you know, if you're aiming dead on, then you can't shoot it in the track because you're not going to damage it. But if I'm at this angle here, I'm going to just shoot it right in the track. Not only are you going to spin the vehicle out if it's moving, you're also going to stop it dead in its, well, tracks, and at the same time, you're also damaging it, and you're making him use his repair kit. So it's just, you know, pretty much taking the vehicle out of battle for a couple seconds. You can't back up. You're stuck out in the open, and every single time somebody has a shot on your track wheel like that, you're just a sitting duck, which is one of the most frustrating things in the game. I can tell you that from quite a bit of experience. So let's push right into position here. We've got that K91 and a nice little HESH right into the frontal armor. I don't want to be hit by this K91 anymore, so I'm going to push up very aggressively. But you know what? This K91, he has 1 shell left. I'll take that trade. There we go. I don't know how he managed to screw up all those shots, but well, that's fine with me because K91's already taken out. So let's see what else we got. Well, we got the Badger, and we can actually, actually we can't penetrate that Badger from this spot here. Let's see if we can maybe aim for his lower plate. There we go. There, yes, beautiful shot right into the lower plate of the Badger. I'd actually say that the Badger has the same weakness as the 215B. It's just that massive track wheels take up a lot of the shots, and it really causes you to fall apart. Now, the enemy team, not really sure where they're pushing their vehicles right now. They're going to be down 2 tanks over there. In fact, I think their whole team kind of just evaporated in thin air. So we got this T92-1. Let's try and pen a HESH right on him. There you go. 507 hit points right off of that guy. I love the HESH penetration on this vehicle. It's something that's truly, you just don't get enough of it. Again, 486 there, ripping off another massive chunk of HP, and maybe this Badger's going to hit us. I don't really care if he does, because, well, we can easily tap him. There you go, bouncing off that little skid of armor. It really is a troll tank to penetrate, and we're just going to make our way downtown here. Oof, bounce the shot, but, oh, again, you can see just the tracks. Not only that, he freaking ammo racked us. I swear, this tank is the worst luck ever. So let's fix our ammo rack. Let's pen a shot right in his track wheel, or not. I underestimated my reload, but there we go. Get a nice premium right in there, and we'll continue on our crusade. The 703 is not super healthy left, but, well, this was a very quick game, and it looks like we're going to be able to get, maybe, please, I want to get one more shell out into the 703, or maybe the Tortoise. I don't really care who. But this guy missed a shot, so there we go. I'll take it. I'll take any damage I can get, as we all know. Here we go. Let's just, little love tap on you, and finishing. Oh, we didn't get to finish him off. Come on, we can get the Tortoise. No, but I'll take it. That was just about 3,000 damage that game, and you got to see that the gun works well. It does decent. We bounced a couple shells, but you didn't really get to see one of the biggest weaknesses, which of course is that front track wheel. But you can trust me that if you get penned in it, oh boy, it's gonna hurt quite. Into a brief intermission, I actually have a sponsor for today's video. Now, I just wanted to have a little 2-minute ad. Of course, if you don't want to hear about getting free stuff in World of Tanks Blitz, well, then you can skip right past. But I'm going to be telling you everything about the brand new promotional offer from Huawei, so let's get straight into it. So the way this promotion works is actually pretty sweet. So from now until August 31st, you can get back 50% of any of the money you spend in World of Tanks Blitz if you use the Huawei App Gallery application, and you're just getting 50% of your money back. So let's say I spent 37,500 gold, which is $100. Well, I would get 50 Huawei points, which I could use then to get another 17,500 gold on a $50 bundle for free. So that is pretty dang good. In fact, I've never really heard of an offer this good, and I was kind of skeptical at first, which rightly so, the average person would be. But the really cool thing is that Huawei didn't give me some test account or some email and password to put in from them. I actually had to create my own account, spend my own $2. Yes, I know, a huge $2, but I actually got 50% of the money back, and it was perfectly great. Everything worked fine. So you may be asking, great, well, how do I get my hands on this extra gold, or whatever you want to do with it? So getting it to work is actually pretty simple. Like, I was amazed how easy it actually was. So literally, all you have to do is download BlueStacks onto your computer. It doesn't matter if you're on Mac or PC, it will work either way. What BlueStacks does is it kind of mimics Androids. I'll link BlueStacks in the description down below, and as well, I will link in the description the Huawei App Gallery, because it's not in the Android store, but once you download it, it goes right into your BlueStacks automatically for you. And good news, you're pretty much 99% done at that point. All you have to do is register an account, which is literally simple. Just put in some random date of birth that's before like 2000, and as well, just put in your email, and you're all set. Now, one of the most important things I cannot stress, though, is to set your location either to Ireland, the United Kingdom, or New Zealand. The promotional offer is only going on there, and as you can see in the background of this video, that's literally all you have to do. Of course, you're gonna have to set up some sort of payment information. I just used my PayPal. It's 100% secure. Once I set up my PayPal, as you can see, I made a $2 purchase, and it gave me 1 point back, because of course 50% of 2 is 1. Then after I got that, I went and purchased a dollar bundle, and that 1 point went towards the dollar bundle, and it cost me absolutely nothing, and that's literally it. So it's as simple as that, 1, 2, 3, and you will save yourself 50% on every single purchase, or not save yourself, but should I say you'll get 50% more. And one even really cooler thing is that if you wanted to support my channel, you can actually spend money on the Huawei store, and then if you report it to the website I'll have linked in the description down below for the referral program, I will actually make 15% of the money on that purchase. So not only does this help me out, helps you guys out, and we're all happy people. Now, the Super Conqueror, as you can tell by armor profiles, has very similar tracks. However, one nice thing is that the Super Conqueror actually has buffed side armor compared to the normal FV215B, or at least to my knowledge, so you do get a little bit more ricochets in the side, and it's definitely much harder to penetrate shots through the track wheel than it is for your stock standard 2 and 5B. But the issue with the Super Conqueror is the gun. It's not a bad gun by any means. Like, compared to an IS-4, this gun is great. But you can see the aiming time is over a second longer, and the DPM... oh boy, yeah, 2,600. So it's about 350 less damage per minute. It's about 2 seconds longer on the reload. Not only do you have worse aiming time, but your dispersion is literally 0.6 worse. That is a major difference. That means that it goes from being super effective at long distances to missing about 20 to 30% of the shots you fire. So definitely the gun is not nearly as good there. And there's also one other slight difference on the penetration values. Everything is the same, but yet the Hesh does 10 millimeters of less standard pen. So I don't know know why that is. Kind of weird, but overall, it is still a pretty solid tank. There's one major advantage, though, that the Super Conqueror gains, of course, over the 215B, which is armor. The upper plate on this tank is fantastic. It's about 250 millimeters on base, but the thing is that it's got a plate of reactive armor. It's a Super Conqueror, and then it's kind of like the Super Pershing where they added on spaced armor. Well, the way reactive armor works is that premium shells, like heat shells, go into it, and it kind of just explodes on the reactive part, and it doesn't penetrate through the vehicle. So you can see that the Super Conqueror and the Conqueror look almost identical looking-wise, but that reactive armor on the front makes a major difference in the way the tank is played. Not only is the armor very solid on this vehicle, it's got that turret armor that's solid as well. It's got that spaced armor. Now, I do think that the actual cupola on this tank is way worse than the FV215B, but overall, the turret is definitely a lot more troll because it's got that spaced armor. You can't see weak spots on it, but you will see that the gun might struggle to hit a couple shots where we can say, you know what, the 215B would have shrugged those shots off very easily. Now, I can say 215B would have easily made it into position there to get that first shot off, but doesn't really matter because we got that shell into the 62-8 either way. So there we go, backing up. Now, mobility are pretty similar across both of the boards. I would say that the FV215B is a little bit quicker, I would say, in traverse speed. You can definitely see here it's not super quick for the Super Conqueror on traverse speed, but at the same time, it's not the end of the planet, I'd say. So let's see if that T-54 is going to pull up, or maybe that Vickers CR. There we go, nice tap right into the side of that Vickers. Sadly, my Progetto just completely died right off the bat, something you don't necessarily want your top-tier medium to do. Well, yeah, I guess our Progetto bit the dust. So we're going to try and hold here to the best of my abilities, at least. I'm not sure where the enemy IS-4 is anymore. There he is, actually. So let's tap a nice premium shell right into that IS-4. But, of course, I still carry that amazing penetration. And there you go. That spaced armor on the turret working like a charm, how it's supposed to. And we did get a nice ricochet right in there. Let's see if this T-54 wants to play with the gun. Again, just bouncing shells, shrugging them off. So you can see that I do think the armor on this tank is a lot more enjoyable. And I actually do enjoy playing the Super Conqueror more now than I do the FV215B. I really didn't like the Super Conqueror at first, but the tank's armor really started to like suit in for me. Now, we did get penned, which is right in the lower plate, of course. That made sense. I didn't realize that that guy was even looking at me until he pushed, but yeah, he easily was able to get right through our lower plate, which makes sense. But over here, I'm noticing that my team is in a little bit of a struggle, so I'm going to see if I can maybe support them a little. Is there anybody pushing over to the side? Let us find out. So we've got the IS-4 pushing out right there. We also have that 183. Nice Hess shell right in the rear of that 183, and it looks like we're going to be getting even another Hess shell out, if he lets me. Here we go, aiming in that Hesh, and fire. There you go, another shell, 580 hit points off that guy. That is where this gun is great. Like, you really get that damage out very quickly. Now, the 215B wouldn't have had that much of a struggle, I'd say, with the Hesh, where it does have that 10mm more buff, where it probably would have actually made it quite easier to pen it, but nonetheless, we still did get our shots out. Now, we probably would have gotten an extra shot into that FV215B 183 with an extra Hesh, but really didn't make a difference there, as you saw. This 183 pushing fairly aggressive here, and we can actually tap a Hesh right into his lower plate. Another one for 503. Now, I definitely want to back up here. I want to make sure that this guy has the lowest chance possible to pen us. He still penned us, which kind of sucks for me, but, well, oh, come on. Oh, that's my luck, of course, but we're going to finish him off nonetheless. So let's try and do that really quick. Let's finish off this 183, load in the premium shell as well, just to make sure that it pens this time. And here we go. Now we can try and face hug this IS-4 here to the best, again, of my abilities. We're going to try and kind of hold him off to the best I can. I hope that he bounces this. I really do. I doubt he's going to. Yeah, there you go. But I'm going to try and face hug him. I think that I have the best chance of surviving his tank if I do end up face hugging him. So here we go. Let's get into a face hugging position. Come on, you want to bounce that shot on us. You know you do. Here we go. Yes. Okay. And then we can try and pen another shot right on this hull. Yay! Okay, so we've already done 5,400 damage. Like, that's a crazy amount here. And just going to back my vehicle up. Another bounce, and with a premium shell, finishing off that IS-4. Very lucky bounces. He obviously did not know about the weak spot, but you can see the upper plate on this vehicle worked way, way better than the Tune-5B's was. Now, I can say that the Tune-5B would have done just as well in that position, if not better, because I, first of all, probably would have been able to get another Hesh into that 183's back of the turret when he was running away. Not only that, I probably could have gotten into position quicker, but at the same time, I don't have 10 degrees of gun depression, so these tanks are both very good for their own respective attributes, but you can see, I think the Super Conqueror is actually a better tank, and the reason for that being is because it's flexible. The issue with the Toon 5B is that as soon as stress is put on the vehicle, as soon as it's dealing with more than one opponent, it falls apart so quickly. If you have an IS-7 and then like somebody behind them, you don't want to get hit by that TD, so you'll shoot that IS-7 and he'll pull out and he'll pen you every time, and you're just losing trades every single time. Not only that, you have a lot less hit points in this vehicle. You're only sitting at 2279. This tank's 200 more at 2438. I'm not sure why Wargaming made it so low on the HP. Wargaming, please buff it, but I do think that the Super Conqueror is actually a stronger tank just because it's more flexible in every single given scenario. It's got good side armor. It's got great frontal armor. As you saw there, I was able to survive where that 2 and 5B would not have been able to survive that last scenario. I can guarantee that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you agree or you disagree. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.